Hello. Last time that I was with you, I talked a little bit about the kinds of things that give us life in everyday practice. Things like slowing down for a moment and having a cup of coffee with someone significant in our life, or taking a walk in nature. The kinds of things that we do that give us life, and perhaps we ought to practice more often because we find that they lift us up and give us a sense of positivity. Today I want to turn in the opposite direction, the things that steal life away from us. But before I talk a little bit about that, I want to remind you of something that I think is important for you to hear, and I hope it is a life-giving phrase for you, which is, you are infinitely precious and unconditionally loved for the gift you already are. And you can hold that thought in those moments when you might feel otherwise. So what are the kinds of things that steal your life away? And some of them are big, some of them might be very tiny. So one of the things I try to, I usually only do this at the end of the day. I'll be honest with you, to ask myself personally about the things that are stealing my life away, I probably avoid it, and perhaps I should avoid it less, because it sneaks up on us, the things that are stealing our lives. For instance, if I go to Facebook, and perhaps you are watching this on Facebook, but when I go to Facebook and then I get caught up in story after story after story, which in the end only adds to the Facebook algorithm that tells them to send me more of those stories, more of those reels that come up on my feed, then it takes away over time what I could have been doing that was life-giving. I get sucked into reading news stories that frustrate me, or perhaps beyond frustrate me, make me angry or irritated. And then rather than hold that irritation and realize what's irritating me and what perhaps I should do to respond to it, I just keep going down that rabbit hole. And I don't know if that ever happens to you. But what about when I watch a news program? And I don't do this very often either, because I have found it's not particularly life-giving. And I don't care whether you're a conservative politically or whether you're progressive politically. You can find the siloed shows that you want to watch that will just tell you the things that reaffirm all the things that you already believe about the world, and even make it seem worse to you. Demonize people who are of a different political affiliation than you. That seems to be something we're really good at, creating fear in one another. That, by creating fear, generating fear, stoking the fires of fear inside of us, that is not life-giving. In fact, that's a life-stealing or death-dealing, if you will, in our lives. But even outside of those big things that might take our life away, that seems to be stealing our life from us. Perhaps we have what we consider to be a dead-end job, or we're working in a field that no longer gives us meaning, and so we continue to do it because it pays the bills and because we don't want to start all over again, and yet every day is just a little bit worse than the day before. At least we feel that way sometimes. That's life stealing. But I also want to invite you to catch those moments when you steal your own life away. Not just by choosing to watch the news or following a Facebook feed to its end, or a Twitter feed, or whatever you're following. But I'm thinking about those moments when, instead of affirming yourself, you call yourself some other name that is less than affirming. you say something about yourself that is not true. Those moments are moments that steal our lives away because they repeat a pattern within us that makes us feel as if we are less than, that we are in some way separate from God's love. And that's an illusion. That's an illusion. Anything that teaches us we could be less than the God who already loves us, wants us, or sees us, then is a lie, is a lie. But it's an easy lie, and we perpetuate it over and over again. So I want you to pay attention in the same way I invited you to catch those moments which are life-affirming to you last week, and to hold on to those and perhaps cultivate more of those, more walks, more coffee conversations with people that are significant to you, more reading time, whatever it happens to be. I also want you to pay attention, invite you to pay attention, and me to pay attention to those moments when we let ourselves fall into patterns that steal our life away. Those moments when we use negative self-talk, or we get caught up following a Facebook feed, or whatever it happens to be. Those things that are taking our lives away. And if they're really big, maybe we can only make incremental changes about them. Or maybe all that we can do, maybe it's out of our control, the things that seem to be stealing our lives. And perhaps we have to accept that those are a part of our lives and find ways to deal with them otherwise. It is challenging. It is challenging to step away from the things that rob us of our lives, that are life-stealing. But I would encourage you to do just that. I would encourage you to be mindful of the moments when you are calling yourself names, when you don't speak up for yourself over and against yourself, who is telling you something other than you are infinitely precious, you are unconditionally loved for the gift you already are, because that is true. So keep that in mind. And this week I encourage you to look at your life, to be aware of your life, to take stock every day. What are the things that you're doing in your life that are life-giving? And maybe you can do more of those. What are the things in your life that are stealing your life away, that are making you feel less than? And can you do less of those? Can you do less of those? Make some choices when you catch yourself saying bad things about yourself. Instead, affirm, I am precious, I am loved, I am a gift, and move in another direction. So that's my thought for this week. For this time, I hope it might be helpful to you, and I wish you all the best in this coming week. Pay attention. Pay attention.